So this is a review of the D500, and I'm going to talk about kind of my camera setup and the different lenses that I have, but specifically we're really going to be talking about the D500 and how I have it set up. So just got this about 5 days ago, got a really great deal on it, about 1,200 bucks used. I was already bought into the DX system with this 5600 that's filming the video, and the 5600's been great for me. Very versatile, very light. You don't really need to do much. You just kind of set it up and it goes. And it's filming this video right now. And I love the 5600. If you're just getting into a DSLR system, I can't recommend it highly enough. Definitely, the kit lens will give you great results. And then I'm filming this with a 10 to 20 VR DX lens, and that's a really fantastic lens, very versatile, especially for filming on DX. It's almost mandatory because 35 just is never enough, and everything's out of focus with those fast primes. And so let's go through the D500. It's a little heavy just right off the bat. The 5600 is very featherweight. The 500, it's going to kind of drill a hole into you. I took this thing to the theater the first night I got it, and it was like making me uncomfortable to sit with. The 5600 is like a watch. You can wear it all day. It never hurts you. With the 70 to 300, there's no more comfortable street camera out there. The 70 to 300 with VR specifically. And the 5600 is just a great body. But the 500, now that I've kind of gotten it the way that I like it, I'm enjoying it quite a bit. So let's go through how I have it set up. All right. So, most important thing I think is this I button. And it's going to bring up kind of this menu bank, and you can see I've got my custom settings there. And there's two sets of custom settings. It's not as easy as the U1 kind of U2. Like I have a D7000, and that's a great body, but I wasn't going to get the 7500 because the 5600 is just such a better deal, and it's way lighter. So okay, here's our custom control. On the preview button, I've got the grid finder display. I love that. Virtual horizon, and so basically it's set up for things in the viewfinder on my finger control. Here, this button and this button is basically kind of like, that's my stuff in my viewfinder. So I know those fingers are doing stuff that I can see through my viewfinder. And I'd give a demonstration, but you know what it looks like. And so let's continue looking at custom controls. I've got the FN2 button for my menu, which I'll show you in a second. Now my AF on button, I've got that set to, let's see here. I have to select it. And so I have it on single point AF, AF on, AF mode with AF on, single point. And then here we've got the focus point selection with the subselector, subselector focus point. Let me sit down here, my back is killing me. And so when I select that, when I push this in, you can see it's basically going to reset it to the center of the frame, which is great. And the bracket button, multiple exposure. This camera does some cool multiple exposure stuff. Movie record button, whatever. That's actually pretty useful, actually. Setting the movie record button to mode. So check it out. So if I do this, I'll light this up. And see, if I hold the movie record, I can shift. So I don't have to come over here and hit mode. I don't have to come over here and hit mode and do all that. It's like, it's just a nice right-handed operation. It's pretty useful. I pretty much shoot in P. Sometimes you want to be shutter priority, especially in this camera because you need the speed. So let's keep going over the settings. So FN2, I've got that set up. And so I've got my number of focus points to AF15, and I like that because I can move around quicker, and it's just like one up, one down, one left, one right. It's like makes things so much faster. White balance, auto 1. That's the thing with this camera, with the D500, is that the images are so perfectly balanced. Like, you bring this stuff into Photoshop and you try to apply the auto corrections and it does nothing. Like the 5600, it's got like all sorts of beautiful, nice color rendition. I like the stuff that it does. I've got some of like the Rockwell settings on here, so it does kind of juice it a little bit. And I've gotten nothing but beautiful pictures of the 5600. I want to stress that. Like, the 5600 gives you great ass images. But the 500 out of camera JPEG, oh my god, it's just so perfect. There's nothing, I've never seen anything like it. Picture control standard. You don't need to touch it. I don't ramp anything, and it's just gorgeous. Like, I have this one shot, like, it's so, you don't need you don't need to ramp anything on this thing. And I've got my screen, saving battery here. I got my airplane mode. I'll show you all the other stuff. Auto ISO sensitivity on. It makes life really easy. And I have it capped. I have it capped at 6500 because I don't want super high ISO, like, useless images. Frame rate, 1080 60. The 4K is really good. I'll go through some of the movie settings in a minute. I've got it so it's stabilized. You need the 1080 to have that ability to have it be stabilized, which is great. Picture control standard, same, looks great. I've got, the active D-lighting on. Continuous low, 5. That's like the top speed for the 5600. And so I'm used to shooting at 3 frames, but 5 frames, it's like, why not? And then the nice thing with this is, like, I'm in continuous low at 5, and if I go to continuous high, I've got 10. So it just doubles, and it's more predictable, and it, like, makes sense to me. Time-lapse movie is on the My menu. This is something I'm setting custom. So that's time-lapse is cool. I've done it before. Flicker reduction, I want that option. Monitor brightness, I have it dialed down to -2 on both playback and all that stuff. Virtual horizon, it's cool. Battery info, sure, done. Live view, it's kind of weird to get to the movie menu settings, but live view, let's see here. Just 1080, 60, active D-lighting, high quality, all that good stuff, right? And I'm only rocking an SD card because, like, I don't want to get the readers, and I've been hearing they get hot, and, like, I don't need to spend $100 on a card. So I just rocking one SD. But this thing's just been great. And so let me show you how I have it set up. So my focus mode is, let me see here. Oh, I need to take it out of live view. Okay, so you can see I'm in AFC and I'm in auto. Okay, and I've got auto ISO, matrix metering, normal, large, and I'm shooting just JPEGs. So when I hit AF on, you can see it's going to go to AFC single. So what this does is actually, no, you know what? I'm not in auto, I'm in 3D, and that's an important part of my setup. So what you do is you've got this center point, right? And so let me try to focus this thing so you can see. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, so cool. And so what you can see is that little point. And so if I target that on something and I hold the shutter down, what it'll do is it'll lock on to that thing. So I've always got it in the center. You can move it with the joystick, and that's why I have that joystick set to like 12, because I want to quickly just like shift over if I need to. And then I'm able to recenter by hitting center. So what I'm doing is I've got a center point, and that's normal. Like, you're going to center up your subject right away, and you kind of get in the habit. You're just like, center it up, hold the shutter halfway down, acquire focus. I'm in AFC, right? I'm in AFC 3D. And you know how to set that, just here and blah, blah, blah. So AFC 3D, and then when I hit AF on, I'm in AFC single point. So what I have is when I move my point, around, I'm able to press the shutter halfway down, get a lock on it, move it throughout the frame, which is what this camera's for, is holding a lock on something throughout the frame edge to edge. And you can get these kind of like, you know, lock onto a car that's driving towards you and it's going to hold focus, and like whoosh, lock onto a guy crossing a street and it'll hold focus theoretically through cars passing in front of him. It does a pretty good job. So the focus system, when you've got that 3D thing on there for what I'm doing, you know, shooting a bicyclist or, you know, mountain bike race or any, you could, the possibilities in kind of the shooting situations, like especially like street photography, it's so useful. And I don't have facial recognition on. I just have the 3D lock, and it works great. So what I can do then is when I hit the AF on button, I'm switching to single point, and then that way, you know, I can focus and recompose and shoot. So if I can just, you know what I mean? Like if I've got something in a focal plane, I can just like, I don't have to struggle with the locking kind of jumping around thing that it does with the 3D system. But the 3D system is great for like your average thing where it's like, hey, there's my subject, put him in the center, call a duty, hit their face, hold the shutter halfway down. I don't need to, I can't back button focus. This thing is heavy as shit. My hand is busted from a mountain bike accident. It hurts. Like I don't want to do two fingers, just one finger. That's why they designed this thing to like focus with one finger. Like you don't back button focus. Like I get it. Like if I had this thing on a gimbal and I was like trying to keep a group on a bird that was like, I don't like, I guess, but like even that, like I like this setup. So basically I'm 3D lock with a half button, half press of the shutter, and then I have an option for a single point. I got a reset here, and I've got a coarse kind of, you know, adjustment here. So the files I've been getting out of this are great. They look amazing. So the 500, you know, it's a bit of a pig. It's real heavy, but it's been raining. I'm not afraid to take it out in the weather. It's fully weather sealed. Like if I was going to go to the snow, I was going to shoot snowboarding or, you know, backcountry hiking, like it's double the weight of the 5600. But you know what the thing that 5600 can't do that this thing can do is focus in available light situations. Like if you're a prime shooter and you're going after all these 1.4s, you almost need the 500 because like the 5600 will not acquire focus in available light. Like the results you can get from a 1.4, the camera won't do it. The 500, this thing will do it. Like I was sitting in my living room and lights were off. It was the morning, kind of filtered daylight, and I have a painting on my wall. This thing was getting perfect reproduction of the color, acquiring focus. The 5600 could not see it. It could not see the thing. And like you are then guessing on the focus because you're looking through a basically, you know, relatively smallish viewfinder. The viewfinder in this is great. Like it's so big and bright, and like for me, I'm kind of blind and the diopter's a little bit stronger. So, and the big money feature is the backlit buttons. Like these things, especially because you're getting this for night photography, like you were getting this for low light situations, like you're putting a 1.4 on there to go shoot in available light. Like you don't have an AF focus light. You don't have a built-in flash. Like if you're running, you know, you're probably going to be running strobes and a controller on this thing. That's what it's built for. It's got like a little controller pack here. So, and it's made for available light photography. Like you put a nice, like I have my 1.8 on there right now, the 35, great lens. I'll take you through the lenses I have real quick. I've got a FX 50mm 1.4G, super awesome. It's almost like the reason that I got the 500. That's what I've had strapped on. Oh god, super exciting kit lens. Oh my god. Oh my god. And then what else do we got? And this thing is worth its weight in gold. Like you must own this lens. The DX70-300 VR, like money all day. This thing got me like accepted to Getty Images. Like you cannot fail with this lens. Like you want good photos, get this lens. Like it doesn't matter what, you could put it on the cheapest Nikon body as long as it'll AFP focus. You get these AFP DX lenses and you are gold all day. And that's the thing, you shoot a nice prime, like yeah, you know, it focuses a little bit faster, whatever, but shoot these AFP lenses and it's like silent, so sick, like so amazing. And I got the SB400. This is a great little flash unit. This will take care of most of your flash problems. I have an SB600 too, but some batteries rotted in it for whatever reason, and it's totally jacked, and Nikon won't fix it. So, because they don't have parts for anything that they make. I don't understand how a company doesn't have parts for anything that they make ever. They're like, sorry, we made that 5 years ago. We don't have parts for that. Are you kidding me? Go buy a Canon. So, you know, it's a total pig. It's really heavy. You don't need the 10 frames per second. But the thing is that if you are shooting in available light and you need to acquire focus and you're shooting fast primes, and you're doing street photography and you're doing moving subjects, I mean, there is no better camera. It's just awesome, as far as I can tell. I had the Z6 ordered, but I canceled it because it's too rich for my blood. But, you know, maybe I'll win one in a contest. All right, thanks, guys. Bye.